I don't like gang stuff.
I am not gang gang. You know what I'm saying? I do not gang gang.
I don't like gangs. I don't like conspiracy. I don't like the word Rico. Like none of that. So, you see the young boys say, you ain't got no body.
Oh my goodness. When it comes to handling business, 50 Cent has been a force since day one. No hesitation, absolutely no fear. His name still echoes through every street and hood because, get this, unlike most rappers who have to cut fat checks to gangs just to move around safely, 50, he doesn't pay anybody. No street tax, no extortion, nothing. Can you believe that?
Always made early residents. I am not gang gang. I do not gang bang.
I do not like Rico. I do not like conspiracy. Keep both of those brothers away from me. These laws were designed to bring down the mafia. When you think crime.
And that right there, that's exactly why he's had such explosive beef with some real street figures. We're talking major players with heavy influence like the Crips. Most rappers wouldn't dare cross that line, but 50? He never backed down. And now that he's getting older, he's spilling all the tea about his enemies, especially why the Crips still don't want problems with him. It's absolutely wild.
When did the relationship start to go south with 50?
You know, I was tolerating a lot of undesired energy.
Right.
Now let's get something crystal clear. 50 Cent is not a gangbanger. He's said it a million times, and it's been obvious from the start. He grew up in the rough streets of South Jamaica, Queens, but he never needed a crew to stand on his own. He made it crystal clear, I am not gang gang, I do not gang bang, I do not like Rico, I do not like conspiracy, period.
And against my advice, he prompted the homies to take the stage with him, and he announced to the San Diego crowd something to the effect of, what's wrong with this picture? I'm a New York with 100 Crips on stage.
But let's not get it twisted. Just because he left that life behind doesn't mean he isn't connected or respected. See, back in the day, 50 got caught up selling to an undercover, and when the cops raided him, they found a stash and a weapon. That was his absolute wake-up call.
50 was the type of dude, he was outside when he was 12 years old. You know, his mother and father, he didn't have too much knowledge of them. He had knowledge of his mother, but his father.
He didn't have too much knowledge of him. He had knowledge of his mother, But his father, he knew he had to leave that street life behind before it took him down for good. But that did not mean he was moving like a target. Far from it. Enter Spider Lock, a full-time Crip who tried to put G-Unit and the Crips under the same banner. Out of loyalty, 50 and G-Unit rocked with him. They even let him bring hundreds of Crips on stage during their performances. But that affiliation, it brought some serious heat. One show got straight up canceled because the crowd was packed with Bloods. You see the problem, right?
With Boo Boo, I'm not even gonna call him 50. 50 was a street that basically said the street, but was still involved in the street and started rapping. You understand what I'm saying?
And it didn't stop there. Spider Lock's music video shoots, they were getting lit up with bullets. It was getting real out here. Rival gangs were pulling up, and things were getting way too dangerous. 50 wasn't about to let all that chaos mess up his business, so at some point, he had to make a move. Spider Lock had to go.
Because he wasn't involved with what made it fall apart in the beginning. So, nah, we cool. You can play it out. He's a rapper, man. This is hip hop. In the heat of it, you actually got beef with the person.
And when things fell apart with G-Unit, Spider Lock didn't even fight for his spot. Word on the street is he was so shook he just vanished. No resistance, no pushback, nothing. That right there tells you everything about who really held the power. See, 50 has never been scared to stand toe-to-toe with the biggest names in the game. Y'all remember Suge Knight, right? The man who had everybody on edge back in the day? Well, 50 wasn't one of them. When Suge tried to press him early in his career, 50 stood firm. No hesitation, no backing down. That's just facts. He even pulled up to the Inda Club video shoot knowing Suge was out there trying to shake things up. But 50? He came through like it was just another day. And let's not forget his legendary war with Murder Inc., one of the wildest feuds in hip-hop history. Back in 2000, 50 got stabbed outside the Hit Factory studio in New York, all because of his beef with Ja Rule and Murder Inc. One of their artists, Black Child, claimed it was self-defense, but we all know how that played out. 50 needed 3 stitches after that attack, but did he fall back? Never. Instead, he cranked up the heat even more. And let's talk about 50's legendary level of petty, undefeated. When Irv Gotti recently passed away, 50 wasted no time clowning him. He posted a pic of himself smoking hookah next to a mock gravestone with the caption, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack now. God bless him. LOL. Savage." But this ain't just about industry beef. 50 has survived real attempts on his life. When the streets came for him, he stood tall every time. Y'all remember the infamous 2000 shooting? 50 got hit 9 times. 9. Most people wouldn't have made it out alive, but 50, he shook it off and came back harder than ever. No hiding, no laying low, just straight up domination. Then there's his fallout with Bang'em Smurf, one of his day ones. That brother used to ride with 50. But by Summer Jam 2004, things had gotten so heated that Smurf and his crew pulled up front row just to taunt him. And what did 50 do? Did he let it slide? Nah! He straight up disrespected them, threw cash and splashed water at them like they were nobodies. And then, chairs started flying, people were throwing shoes, it turned into absolute madness. But that wasn't even the most dangerous beef 50 had. That title belongs to Jimmy Henchman. If you know Henchman's reputation, you already know he was not the one to mess with. It all kicked off in 2005 when 50 dropped the game from G Unit. And guess who was managing the game at the time? Henchman. He took that personal, and before anyone knew it, things escalated. Arguments, threats, and eventually, violence. By 2007, it got real. G-Unit members Tony Yayo and Lowell Lodi Mac Fletcher allegedly jumped Henchman's 14-year-old son. That move, it turned a street beef into an all-out war, and just weeks after Lodi Mac got out of prison, he was gunned down, and word on the streets? That was a revenge hit. Henchman wasn't playing. Eventually, Henchman got convicted for putting a hit on Lodi Mac and got slapped with life plus 20 years. But even after that, the story stayed messy. His conviction got overturned in 2016, keeping his name locked in street drama. And let's not forget, Henchman's name has been whispered in another infamous case. The 1994 Quad Studios shooting of Tupac Shakur, the connections run deep. And let's be real, that 1994 Quad Studio shooting, that wasn't just some random hit. Somebody set Tupac up, and guess whose name kept getting tied to it? Jimmy Henchman. For years, rumors swirled that Henchman played a role in lining Pac up that night, but nothing was ever officially pinned on him. Still, that connection kept his name in the streets, and when you mix that with his war against 50 Cent, it was only a matter of time before the streets started talking. See, Henchman wasn't just some industry guy. He was deeply tied into the streets, so when he and 50 went head-to-head, it wasn't just rap beef anymore, it turned deadly. And let's not forget, 50 Cent has never been the type to let things slide. If you come for him, best believe he's going to apply pressure. Even after Henchman was locked up, his name still carried weight, but that life sentence? It was like the final chapter to one of the most intense wars in hip-hop history. Meanwhile, 50, he kept moving like nothing happened. Business booming, power growing, and his enemies either falling off or falling down. But that's the thing about 50 Cent. He don't just survive, he wins. While most rappers fade out or get caught up in the same street drama they rap about, 50 flipped the game completely. He went from dodging bullets in Queens to becoming a straight-up mogul. And the craziest part, he's still out here throwing shots. Whether it's on social media, in interviews, or through his business moves, 50 makes sure his name stays relevant. And after all the beef, the shootouts, the betrayals, he's still standing tall while most of his enemies are gone. And trust me, if history has taught us anything, it's that when 50 Cent has a problem with somebody, it ain't over until he says it's over. And that right there, that's why 50 Cent's legacy is different. Most rappers come and go, but 50, he's been running the game for over 2 decades and he's still winning. Look at the names that tried to take him down. Murder Inc., Ja Rule, Jimmy Henchman, even Suji Knight. All of them either fell off or fell behind. Meanwhile, 50 flipped the script. He went from a street hustler dodging bullets to a billion-dollar businessman who still isn't afraid to get petty when necessary. Just look at his moves. He's got TV shows, major business deals, and international tours, while his enemies are struggling to stay relevant. And 50, he makes sure they know it. Every time they try to pop back up, he's right there with a meme, a joke, or a straight-up savage post to remind them who's boss. But what really makes 50 untouchable is his ability to move in both worlds. He's got the corporate suits cutting him massive checks, but at the same time, he's still respected in the streets. You don't see that often. Most artists either sell out or stay stuck in the past, but 50, he's mastered both. And let's not forget, this man survived 9 bullets, the biggest rap beefs, and some of the most dangerous enemies in the game. If that couldn't stop him, what makes anyone think he's slowing down now? At this point, 50 Cent ain't just a rapper. He's a walking empire. And no matter how many people tried to take him down, the message has always been the same. If you come at 50, you better be ready for war. And history shows, ain't nobody ever won against him. Well, if you ask 50 Cent, he'll tell you straight up, he's proven time and time again that he's untouchable. He's gone up against some of the most dangerous and powerful people in the game, and yet he always comes out on top. Whether it's industry beef, street drama, or even real-life attempts on his life, 50 has never backed down. He don't pay for protection, he don't bow down to nobody, and most importantly, he's got the resources, the connections, and the fearlessness to handle whatever comes his way. That's why his name still rings bells. That's why even the Crips got to think twice before crossing him. And the people agree. Folks out here saying things like, when you die and come back, it changes you. And let's be real, 50 did what he does best. He looked out for himself. That's the game. But now it's your turn to weigh in. What do y'all think? Was cutting off Spiderlock and the G-Unit Crips the right move? Or was it disloyal? Does 50's fearlessness keep him on top? Or is it really about his connections? And should more artists follow his lead and stop paying street tax? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. More wild stories, more receipts, and more drama coming soon. See y'all on the next one.